Honestly, that's not the reason why I started recording this today. Um, like I said, I wanted to share my story with people. Um, not so much about what happened with my mom, but my upbringing um, wasn't the best. My father was a disciplinarian. He was showed love, but he showed a lot of abuse too. Um, so a lot of those scars I understand now, and barriers that I had to break my own transgressions um, as well. But I love my dad and I love my mom. I really love my mom a lot. I miss her tremendously. Um, did we have the greatest relationship? No, but she never held anything against me, you know. Um, and I can admit here, I was her favorite, despite everything that happened and the whole nine. And I think that was probably one of the biggest issues that my mother's children, except one of them, had with me. And unfortunately, he has passed on. He got sick at the end of last year. He had been sick for a while. I'm not sure the whole if and be all of it, but he was sick. He wasn't well. He developed prostate cancer. By the time they diagnosed him, sadly, he was stage 4, and he was at such an advanced stage that they told him that there was nothing they could do, and he was going to die, and he needed to get his affairs together, and that was it. So, um, I first of all, I miss him a lot because his birthday and mine were only a couple of days apart in March. So, to my brother Ray, I will just say this here. Um, Me hace falta, man. Me hace falta. Tremendamente. Me hace falta. Todavía lo estoy procesando después de mami morir. Y eso fue duro. Pero ahora que tú no estás aquí, hasta es más duro, brother. Pero sepa que te quiero, hermano. Siempre te he querido. Y nunca estarás lejos de mi corazón. Nunca. Te quiero, brother. So I'll go into the other stuff about my life, but I'm just dwelling on this because this was the first thing that was on, especially since I opened this for talking about my mom. Um, my brother passed in late December, in late January. I'm sorry. He had a 31-day diagnosis, and he passed. And then I went down to Colombia a month later to go pay my respects um, to him. Sorry, the ESPN ticker. Um, and somebody from the family cared, more than anything else. Um, my understanding is that no one else other than myself and immediate family in Colombia has seen him or went to visit his grave. Um, but besides all that, and his daughter who was there, that much I know. Um, but I miss him a lot. My brother was one of the only people that was really consistent in my life, that really acted like a sibling. You know, um, did we have our differences in the end? Yeah, but he still loved me. And I value that from him. Um, so as I was saying, I had a rough childhood. I didn't have wasn't the easiest. Um, We weren't rich by any means of the word. Um, I struggled a lot, growing up, but my parents did the best that they could. My dad was a hardworking man. My mom was a hardworking woman, so they tried to give me the best. Um, I went to Catholic school, Catholic grammar school, went to Catholic high school. Um, Fortunately, I was able to finish my high school diploma, my high school program, I should say, and then get my high school diploma. Um, in the midst of losing my father, shortly after, in between my sophomore and junior years, while I was there, um, I ended up getting into Fordham University. I ended up getting thrown out of Fordham University. Um, there's a lot of things that I went through in my life, a lot of mistakes, a lot of faults that I will own up to, and everything. Like I said, I wasn't a perfect person. But I've evolved. I've uh, I've evolved differently. I don't think the same way. I'm not of the same mentality. You know, um, I had I have two sons who are my world. Um, and for me to give them everything that I want to give them in this world, um, is my essence, my importance. Even with things right now, right now I have my back against the wall. And again, I will not talk about it here. I will not put it out there. Please don't ask me. I will not talk about it. It's just plain and simple. I'm not going to talk about it. But I also know too that, with strength and guidance, I'm gonna get through what I'm going through. But like I said, the biggest thing for me to do here is talk about my story. Um, Growing up, childhoods were tough. We didn't have a lot, you know, but I felt like I was the isolated child at times. Um, my siblings were obviously older than me and everything, so there was differences in the ages and stuff like that, and also culturally because they were from Colombia and I was born here. So I was viewed as el gringo, and stuff like that, and everything, and it was different growing up with them, you know.